Well, good morning, everyone. I'm joined this morning by EMA Director Brian Hastings, Major General Cheryl Gordon of the Alabama National Guard, and Secretary Hal Taylor of the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. We are here to give an update on Hurricane Sally to the people of Alabama. We're here to let the people of Alabama know that every resource that's available to the state will be available for the people of Alabama during their recovery. We're also here to assure you that we will be working with you as together we start rebuilding our homes, our businesses, and our communities in the upcoming days, weeks, and months. I know yesterday was very hard for a lot of folks in the cities and counties along the coast and throughout many other communities in our state. 16 years ago to the day when Hurricane Ivey hit our state, Hurricane Sally provided an unwanted sequel. Citizens awoke to extensive damage and destructive property, and loss of power and infrastructure, and sadly, even the loss of life. But it could be much worse. It's been mighty bad, and our state is reeling just as our people are hurting. First, for those who've been directly affected by this storm, your friends and neighbors around the state are thinking of you and praying for you, and we stand ready to support you in every way possible to help you get back on your feet. I'm eager to visit some of the hardest hit areas and assess the damage firsthand, and I will do it as soon as it's safe to do so and have people on the ground. But in many ways, we are still in the phase of rescue and recovery, and I do not want to impede progress. Because of the rain and floods that continued into yesterday afternoon, we still have many roads and bridges that are impassable. I've been in frequent communication with our friends at Alabama Power Company and Power South, and they hope to get their crews out today. And let me assure you, they already had an army of people on the ground ready to do just that. But Wednesday's weather made it almost impossible for people with the Power Company and Power South to do anything except provide power for hospitals and water systems and the like. We know there are hundreds of people that want their power restored and trees removed of the major roadways and life returned as normal as soon as possible. And I look forward to seeing myself firsthand the progress these professionals are making as soon as weather conditions permit. Y'all, I know it's uncomfortable and downright scary to be sitting in the darkness of your home without any lights. But please be patient. These linemen will be working at warp speed to try to get your power restored. And for goodness sake, if power lines are down in your yard, do not attempt to fix that yourself. And if you're not familiar with using a chainsaw, then leave that to someone who is. Folks, on Tuesday, I stated that with any tropical weather system, the only thing you can predict is change from hour to hour. And that certainly proved true with Hurricane Sally. While most storms seem to downgrade upon landfall, Hurricane Sally upgraded to a Category 2 when her eye went over Gulf Shores and Fort Morgan. Many locals have said that this slow-moving storm has perhaps the biggest impact of any storm we've ever seen. And keep in mind, this area of the state remembers all too well the impact of Ivy in 2004 and Frederick in 1979. Regrettably, Hurricane Sally just kept moving throughout the state, in the wiregrass, and even into the river region. Early yesterday morning, I was on the phone with local mayors and county commissioners throughout Baldwin and Mobile counties to check in and offer additional assistance and perhaps connect folks on the ground for one another. I've also been in touch with the Mobile and Baldwin County legislative delegation, as well as Congressman Bradley Byrne and Congresswoman Martha Roby, and our two U.S. Senators, Richard Shelby and Doug Jones, have personally offered every resource from the federal government. And I especially want to express our appreciation and gratitude to President Trump and his administration for their timely attention to approving our pre-landfall disaster declaration. President Trump and his team have been engaged in every step of the way with us. While the weather experts might have been off in some things, they were correct about one thing. Sally was a record-breaking rain and flooding event, and as the water continues to recede, which may take a few days, we will see a more accurate report of the full devastation. I'm extremely proud of the first responders, linemen, National Guard, Marine Police, troopers, local police, and sheriff's deputies, and countless others. When a tragedy like this strikes, these folks are out there in dangerous conditions to help you. And thanks, too, to the Red Cross, faith-based groups, and so many others who are leading the way to help provide hope and help. One final word of caution. As our first responders are overwhelmed by the magnitude of Hurricane Sally, let me urge you to only use 911 if you're facing a life-threatening circumstance. We must prioritize our requests to the most critical needs. I also ask you to refrain from getting on our roads to go check on storm damage unless you just absolutely have to. And then, if you do, use all caution. As Director Hastings will tell you, if you're driving, do not drive through standing water. There may be debris and electrical lines under that water, and most of all, do not drive through flowing water. The best thing for people right now is to remain at home until we have adequate time to clean up the debris along the roads and restore power. Patience will truly be a virtue, my friends, so please be patient. Director Hastings will now make brief remarks. Cheryl Gordon will follow Director Hastings, and then Aaliyah Secretary Hal Taylor will give an update.
Thank you, Governor Ivey, for your support and the support of our Alabama team of state, local, and volunteer partners as we connect our citizens and identify needs and respond with capabilities in their time of need. Additionally, I want to thank FEMA and our federal partners that they have been embedded in our operations since the beginning to help connect with our citizens. As of this morning, we have one confirmed death, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends of those who have lost loved ones. And we hope that we don't have any more deaths. Sally was a very devastating and historic storm, and it seems like people heeded some of the warnings, and I'm so pleased that people were able to get out of harm's way. I want to emphasize that over half the deaths in Louisiana from Hurricane Laura were actually preventable, and they were the result of carbon monoxide from generators, people falling off roofs, and heat stroke. So during this time of response and recovery, please use caution and keep yourself and your family safe. Please do not create a disaster within a disaster. Please do not return to your homes, like Governor Ivey said, and listen to your local authorities until your area is deemed safe. And then use extreme caution for contaminated waters that hide threats that you can't see, and take care of yourself and especially your neighbors. I do want to send thanks out to the United States Coast Guard. They've actually accomplished 24 helo missions and saved 18 people in medical and flood rescues. And their operations have thankfully tapered off as the weather has improved, and local high water and swiftwater teams of the Alabama National Guard and our local counties have responded to calls of assistance. I will introduce Major General Gordon here in a second to talk about the great work our citizen soldiers are doing during Alabama's time of need in this disaster. As for shelters, currently we have one shelter open in Mobile with 3 occupants, one open in Baldwin County with 5 medical needs sheltering in that shelter, and then we also have 130 general population in the shelter. That was at midnight, and today we expected it went down to 65 as people venture out, probably back to see if their neighborhoods are clear to assess damages. And then in Escambia County, there's actually a shelter open with 3 occupants. I want to remind everyone that this disaster is not over, and flooding continues to be a problem in the southern counties of Alabama. And we expect a lot of rivers to be in moderate or major flood stage starting today at noon and continuing through the weekend. So please contact your local EMA and the Weather Service for impacts to your area, because we know that some people will be evacuating in low-lying areas. There are many organizations that will be helping victims recover from Hurricane Sally and its aftermath. So if you have a favorite charity, please support their work. If you don't, please consider giving to the Governor's Emergency Relief Fund, which will help with the unmet needs of storm victims. You can give to the GERF by going to www.servealabama.gov. Thank you. Major General Gordon.
Good morning, everyone. As Director Hastings mentioned, the Alabama Guard has been on duty assisting with the disaster in our coastal area. We have 5 high water evacuation teams that are situated in Baldwin County, and so far we have rescued 35 individuals on an as-needed basis. We have transportation assets standing by here in the Montgomery area to transport needed materials and supplies down to the affected areas. Also, if needed, we have security forces available from the Air National Guard and the Army National Guard to help in possible traffic control, securing areas, and local police. As we go forward, as needs arise based on what is identified in the local areas, we will provide forces to assist our citizens down there. And as always, we are in the business of helping our neighbors because we are members of the communities in which all of us live. And the Guard is always ready and always there to assist the citizens of the state of Alabama. I will be followed by Secretary Hal Taylor.
Thank you, General Gordon. Thank you, Governor Ivey. From an ALEA standpoint, we're assisting, other state agencies and locals, sheriffs, cities, and with emergency evacuations. We have a swift water rescue team, as the Guard does as well. So we're assisting with those and trying to get the roads back open so that trucks with tarps and supplies and line trucks can get down there to get utilities back up and going. I'd like to just tell you one thing, is, as the governor said, if you are wanting to travel and you come up on water over the road, please don't go through it. As little as 12 inches will move a small car. You don't know how deep it is. You don't know if there's a power line under it. Please do not go through standing water or moving water, as the governor said. Please go back home, call 911. We'll send somebody out there to help you. We have the resources and the people through water rescue teams, through Marine Patrol, to assist you with things like that or other needs that you may have. Please dial 911 and we'll send somebody to help you. The other thing is on driver's license offices. If you were going to some of our driver's license offices, some of the areas, Mobile, Baldwin County, some of the others that are possibly affected by Sally, call those offices to make sure that they're open, because some of them don't have power. Some of the employees can't get there because of trees down in the driveway. So I have employees that can't get there. So please call if you have an appointment or you're going to go for some type of driver's license transaction. Please call that office to make sure that it's open and when it's going to open back up and the hours of service. The other thing, if you're going down to check on your property and you have a condo or a house or something down there, please make sure you have an ID with you, because there's going to be ALEA troopers, you're going to have the sheriff's department, you're going to have locals, you're going to have people who are coming in to help who don't know you and don't know that you have a house. You need your ID, you need some documentation of an address that you do have a place down there and you are legitimately going in to check on your house your property, condo, whatever you have. So make sure you have that information so that they can let you in and go in and check on your property as needed. But thank you so much for all that you do, and if there's anything that you need from Aaliyah, you just dial 911 and somebody will come help you. That's all we have. Thank you.
Again, I'd like to remind everyone to stay at home another day or so. Give our first responders the time they need to prioritize the most critical needs. And I will remain engaged with the local leaders as the feedback and the needs from your community will likely change from maybe hour to hour and certainly day to day. So stay smart, stay safe. We remain engaged and we are with you the whole way, Alabama. Thank you very much.
I'm Chelsea Sayason alongside Joe Emer here at Fox 10 News. We just heard from Alabama Governor Kay Ivey and her team of officials who have been tracking Hurricane Sally here on the Gulf Coast. Now, some major news that we got from this press conference is that there is one confirmed death. We don't know who or where, but one